Have you ever felt stuck in your business or your life? Like you're going through the motions, but something's missing. I know I have, and it's a really tough and horrible place to be. But I've got some great news for you. I found something a few years ago that helped me break out of this vicious cycle. And it's a book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. I read this book and honestly, it helped to change my life for the better. And I truly believe that it can help to change yours for the better as well. Now, if you've never heard of this book, let me give you a quick overview of what the book is all about. Viktor Frankl was a psychiatrist who survived the Holocaust. He spent years in Nazi concentration camps where he lost almost everything: his family, his freedom, his health, the whole lot. But through it all, he discovered something that is truly incredible. Even in the worst of times, we can find meaning in our lives. I first came across this book back in 2018, and at the time, I was running my gym business, and honestly, I was struggling mentally and emotionally. Financially, things weren't looking great for the business, and we were going through big changes, and I was constantly stressed out, questioning everything I was doing, and I just wasn't in a great place. To say I felt a bit lost would be an understatement. I remember one day I was walking to the gym to work, and I was listening to Tim Ferriss's podcast, and he mentioned this book, Man's Search for Meaning, and he mentioned that it had a massive impact on his life. And I thought to myself, why not give it a shot? So I downloaded the book on my Kindle, and let me tell you now, it was exactly what I needed at that moment in time. And there's a particular line from the book that stood out to me, and I still remember it to this day. It's this: when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. That line hit me like a ton of bricks. I realized in that moment that while I couldn't control everything that was happening externally and the challenges I was facing, what I could control is how I responded to them. This shift in my thinking just became a turning point. Now, I want to share some key lessons that I took from this book. The first one is choice in any situation. Frankl in the book talks about the power of choice. Even when everything is taken from us, everything is going against us, we still have one freedom, and that's the freedom to choose how we respond. That really blew my mind. Think about it. No matter what's happening in your life, you can decide how you're going to respond and how you're going to show up. It also makes me think of a quote that used to be in the first place I ever worked, and it said, choose your attitude. And you can really choose your attitude and how you operate in life. And that's massive. Let me flip it back to the gym as well. At that time, when I was going through the mill with the gym, I could have just thrown the towel in. I was tempted. There was times where I thought, I've had enough of this. Let's just sack it off. But instead of that, I chose to face the challenges head on. And I started focusing on what I could control: improving the experience for the members and the clients, streamlining the systems and the processes within the gym, and really the biggest one, working on my own mindset. And slowly over time, things started to change for me. And it all started with making the choice. Another big takeaway and lesson from this book is that suffering isn't pointless. Viktor Frankl says that if we can find a why, then we can endure almost any how. And this really helped me personally. I started to see my struggles as opportunities, and they weren't just things that were happening to me or happening to the gym or happening to my wife, Sarah. They were things that were teaching me. For me, the struggles with my gym business really forced me to go within myself, to dig deep and to ask myself some big questions. I remember asking myself, why am I doing this? And what's the bigger purpose behind it all? The answers that I got, they gave me the strength to keep going, to not give in. I realized I wasn't just running a gym, I was helping and changing people's lives for the better. And that purpose behind what I was doing became my grounding and my anchor. The third key lesson and takeaway from Man's Search for Meaning is about being true to yourself. Viktor Frankl says that we all have unique values and passions. And this is something that I'm massive on for myself and for my clients as well. When we live in a line with our values and our purpose and all of those kind of things, we feel much more alive and we feel more fulfilled as well. For me back then, that meant stepping back and asking what really matters to me. And do you know what? That's when I really started finding my purpose. So, how can you use these ideas in your own life? Well, let me share a simple exercise. I want you to grab a piece of paper and answer this question. What gives my life meaning right now? It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it down on paper. Write down whatever comes to your mind. Don't overthink it. Just brain dump it, brain fart it out. Then ask yourself, am I spending time on these things? If you're not, what's one small step that you can take to change that today? This exercise really helped me realize I was spending too much time chasing things that didn't even matter. And so many guys do that. So many men chase things that don't even matter. When I started focusing on what did, everything changed for me. And I know it can for you too. If there's one thing that I hope that you take away from this video, is this, is that your life has meaning, even when you feel like it doesn't. And if you're struggling to see it, I promise you that you're not alone. Everyone goes through these times of doubts where we're self-doubting, where we're overthinking things and we're questioning life's meaning. But remember this, meaning isn't something that we find, it's something that we create. To round this video off, I want you to do 3 things for me when you finish this video. Firstly, go and get yourself a copy of Man's Search for Meaning. It's a book that really stays with you and it's one of my favorite books of all time. Secondly, I want you to drop in the comments, if you've read this book, what your key takeaway was from the book. And then finally, if you feel like you are lacking meaning, you're struggling with your purpose and with fulfillment in your life, then I can help you. In the description of this video, there will be a short 7-minute free video training that you can watch that will help you with these things. Thanks for watching. And remember, you have the power to create a life that feels meaningful to you. I'll see you in the next video.